How's it going? See there? All right. I'm gonna make a quick video on a Trail Tech Voyager Pro mount idea that I came up with. Super cheap, super simple. Buy everything at Home Depot. I think everything together was about $6, maybe even less. Yeah, looking online, you look at the mounting options, and you got your $60, $100, a lot of outrageous prices for such a simple little bracket that you can make on your own. So I wanted to run through how I made it, and maybe it's a good idea if you guys like it. So let's get into it here. This is my 2016 KTM 500 EXC. Bought it used, came with a lot of upgrades, one of them being the Voyager Pro here. So that was a deal to get that on there. The mounting option that the guy had was a ram mount here with there's your mounting plate that goes onto the back of your housing there. He had it set up on the handlebar here, and then offset it over and kind of had it basically sitting somewhat like that, and then you had your device somewhat centered here. Didn't really like that. It's a bit bulky. It also sometimes moves. These ram mounts work great, but they're not bulletproof, so sometimes they do move and everything. So I wanted kind of the options that they have online for this stuff made by Trail Tech. They have the stuff that you just mount right on here. They have some that mount into your bar clamps. They have other ones that goes around your bar there. So didn't want to spend $60 or however much it costs for those. So this was my design here. So this is basically, as you can see, very minimal, very cheap and everything. So these are, you have a 3/4 inch conduit strap. Find that in the electrical section over at Home Depot. Got two of them. These fit perfectly on the bar for it to be tight. I didn't try a 1 inch. It might work with a 1 inch, but this fit just so perfectly that I think that this is probably the way to go. And then up on top, this was I think it was an 8x4 joining plate for lumber. So it was a square, and then I kind of made somewhat of a shape here that works better with the device. So yeah, basically how you make it. I set the clamps on. Set the clamps on the bars right up against the bar clamps, and measured out on the mending plate there where the holes would align. So the holes where I got the bolt through, measured out where that was at, drilled the hole through the mending plate. Got that set on there. Then I kind of decided how I wanted to have the device on, about what location, and I pushed it back a bit just because I have you got your cables here, your throttle cable and everything. So mine sits a little bit further back, so it's not down here in the way. So it sits a little bit further back. Kind of got that lined up where I wanted to. Put a couple, drew in a couple holes so you could see it, all the lines there. Had to drill those ones out. This plate does have holes in it, but none of them will align to what you want to do, so you got to drill your own. So yeah, that's basically it. Anybody that's got any type of experience cutting metal can make this so much better than I did. This was super simple. Again, it took me probably 10 minutes to make this whole thing. So yeah, basically fits on right there. And yeah, I'll skip to getting it all installed, and I can show you. And here's the finished product here. So as you can see, it's real tight. Fits real good. See there. So one thing to note is you will have to cut these bolts unless you buy a super short one. but you could see there that the bolts, it's only about a 3/8 inch tall. So you gotta chop suey that. Let's see there, what's that? Yeah, you'll have to cut that flush with the top of your nut there. So another thing is when you get this clamp on, to get it over the bar, it's gonna stretch a bit. So this will end up being a little bit wider, the two bottoms of this. So what I did, let's focus that better. What I did is just clamp them in, and that squeezes it together, and then you get your screw on there, and then it'll keep it real tight. So that's on both sides. With the wiring on the dock, make sure that you're running it underneath this side. And again, that's why I cut this out, because otherwise that plate would extend through here, and then I'd have a sharp edge right on my wiring, which we don't want that. So there you go. There's a little cleanup you could do on that plate. I could probably trim that stuff off, get that a little cleaner, but then you're cutting back on some of that structural of that plate. So yeah, that's basically it. All right, there's a couple other things on this bike that I want to make some videos on, so maybe you'll see some stuff in the future. All right, thanks guys.